Okay, so there is a fine line with pregnancy with needing to go in for symptoms or they're just being natural pregnancy symptoms. And right now I am teetering that line a lot. Yes, have you propped up because I need to use my hands because I am frustrated slash annoyed slash I don't know. And as you can see, it's 11:57 and I am at home on Wednesday. This is my third day of work I have missed. Well, I was sent home from school today. I tried to get to school. I don't know. The guess is it was my blood sugar. I don't know if it's because it's the first time I woke up at 5 a.m. and like kept it moving and stayed awake and hadn't had food yet that I almost passed out at school, or if something else is going on because this is day 3. I have a slight headache. I had a migraine Monday, Tuesday. It takes a lot for me to call the doctor, period. But I was at urgent care ready to be seen yesterday because this has gone on more than usual, more than my usual. You know, everybody has their, you know, your body. And this was the longest migraine I had had. This is the most discomfort I have had. And then you add on today, me trying to go into work, everything's fine and dandy, and boom, I'm about to pass out in the hall in front of all my kids. So I call the doctor, and the way that my doctor works is there's a nurse that's on call, and they usually, you know, if they're on call with somebody else, they usually call you back within 30 minutes. And she did, but I told her, I said, my voicemail was, you know, I've almost passed out 3 times. My head is spinning. The room is spinning. I don't know what's going on. I think I need to come in. Mind you, I had talked to her yesterday because I was like, you know, I had blurred vision on Monday. I'm having these things go on. I know the signs of preeclampsia. I had it on my final day of my pregnancy with my son. So like, it's kind of there when you think of the history, whatever. But yesterday she was like, you know, based on what you're telling me, you really just need to ride this out. And if it keeps going, then let us know. Well, here we are on Wednesday. Sure, the symptoms are not the same, but dadgum, it's the 3rd day that something's going on. And you guys who know me, I don't go to the doctor for my migraines because that's beside the point. But like, I don't go to the doctor. I know to ride it out, right? But usually it only takes 1 day. This one's taken 2 days. And now we're on third day of symptoms. It's like, it takes a lot for me to call a doctor, right? So when I feel like I cannot advocate for myself, it's a little frustrating because I'm trying to advocate for myself and they're like, no, you're fine. You need to eat more protein. You need to drink more water. This has to do with your blood sugar. Okay, it might. However, this is day 3. Can we confirm this? Mind you, my glucose test is on Monday, which maybe that's why they're sitting here looking at the calendar like it's Wednesday, you've got 5 more days. Let's get you to then and do your test. I don't know, but what if that's not what it is? Like, what if something else is going on? I have faith that my baby is fine. He is kicking and grooving. He's all over the place. But it's that what if? And like, I don't know. It just takes a lot for me to get to that place of concern. So now that I'm there, it's like I know the doctors and the nurses are doing their part because essentially when I called today, she's like, have you eaten, da 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 da. And I thought she had said, had you eaten at this point? And had I eaten at that point when I was passing out? No, I had not. So it was 5 to 7:30. I had not eaten anything. My bad. I don't know. That's typically my routine. I usually, once I get to school, I'll take my nibbles. So I'm not sure what happened today. Again, knowing my body, knowing my routine, like that's my routine. I don't usually eat until 7:30. So I don't know. So I told her, no, I hadn't eaten yet, but I had now. And then it was, okay, we'll go get a blood pressure thing. Where the truck do you just go get a blood pressure thing? Mind you, my nurse, she had a blood pressure thing, but it was for kids. And it was for your forearm, not your arm up here. So it's not like the most accurate, but it's pretty dang close, you know? And my blood pressure was not high. But no, she doesn't have a blood sugar machine. Like, we couldn't test that. So I tell the nurse all of this, and then mind you, my nurse said, you have to go home. Like, you can't be here. You can either take an ambulance to the hospital or a coworker can give you a ride. Okay, so I'm not gonna pay that ambulance bill. So I had a coworker give me a ride. Now, while we're on the way there, then the nurse calls back and she's like, well, this is why we have you guys wait until you hear from us because we have to wait to make sure that there's somebody on call who can see you in labor and delivery and yada, yada, yada. I'm thinking, we can't predict this stuff. Like, just like you can't predict when a baby is being born, we can't predict when this stuff is going on with us. And again, I'm not the one who cries wolf. I'm not the one that calls you guys ever. So knowing that I feel like something's up, that should be a red flag in itself. You know what I'm saying? So we get to a CVS because they have those little arm things. Take my blood pressure. It's like, it's right around my average. So there's not truly a concern. And she said, okay, well, I'm going to call the doctor, because she asked me to call her back with the blood pressure. She said, I'm going to call the doctor and I'll call you back and let you know if we want you to come in. And she calls back and says, the doctor really thinks if this continues, call us back and we'll probably see you. Now, I've been home, I've eaten, I'm drinking my water. I feel okay. I feel weak. I'm a little shaky. Not as much dizziness, but I'm also sitting down. Now I'm not doing anything. I'm not in charge of my 90 kids. I say 90 because they were all out in the hall, but that's how our morning works. But anyway, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just this fine line. And I know the nurses and the doctors are doing their job. But again, I don't advocate for myself enough. So then when I do start to advocate for myself and it's like, no, you're fine. It kind of just makes me want to, like, what's the point of calling? Like, if something's up, and at what point do they take it serious? And that was what I was talking about. That's why I was calling yesterday. I said, I'm telling her, I've had this migraine for 2.5 days now. At what point do I come in? Well, it's if you haven't drank water, if you're not able to hold anything down for 24 hours. 24 hours? Excuse me. That's way too long for my liking. That's way too long. And I don't know. I don't care if I have to be the one that is like batshit crazy and shows up at the hospital or whatever. Because I don't know. We know when something is up. I'm not saying I think anything is up. I think it's calmed down a little bit since this morning. But what if? What if? You know what I'm saying? Anywho. Of course, my husband was like, ChatGPT said preeclampsia. I know. I know those things, but I'm not swollen or anything. And I don't know. Here we are. I'm just ranting now. So thank you for being here. Love you guys. Catch you on the flip side.